Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to change 3D reality, what that really means. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. I set the intention yesterday that I wanted to cover mirror principles 4 and 5 with you, and that by the time I get there, that there'll be questions that relate to that. And sure enough, there are questions from you that relate to these principles. The first one was actually on the channel yesterday. One of you said, well, it's hard not to react to 3D conditions. So I really want to talk about this. And we've talked a lot about reacting to 3D conditions, but I'm going to really hit it like I've never hit it before. And then another of you wrote that, Tom, what about improving your health and changing your appearance? And this has been asked before, and I really want to cover this because it's always the same principles. No matter what you desire, it's the same thing. You've got to create the state within. It doesn't matter if it's $1 million or a change or better health or changing your appearances. It's all the same. But let's really unpack this today in more. So here's what I want to say. So it's hard not to react to unwanted conditions in 3D. But remember, when you're reacting, you're looking into the dual mirror of reality. And the dual mirror can only reflect back the image that you're projecting. And so if the image is reacting, if the image is you don't like it, you don't want it, that's what will be reflected back. That will be your 3D reality. Hear this. It's like a kitty in front of a mirror. You ever see a kitty chasing its reflection? Right? The mirror always reflects what the kitty's doing. The kitty fights and fights and plays, but it's always the same. So this is what I want to really get to you. That it's the reflection of the dual mirror. So that's what you're creating when you react. That should be enough to not react, knowing that it's all you, that you create it with the reaction. It should be enough, right? But if it's not, we're going to really unpack it today. And this is big. Reality doesn't, hear this today loud and clear. It's not that you're changing reality. Reality doesn't change. It's not that you're changing the world. The world doesn't change. The dual reality mirror doesn't change. What changes? You do. Hear this. You change within. When you change, the world you perceive, the 3D reality that you see changes to reflect that change. So it's not really change, it's a change in your perception. Remember, 3D reality, the universe, the world is all within you. So you're simply changing your perception. Reality doesn't change. Underneath it, it's the same. Wow, this is big. Your perception in relationship to the world and your concept of yourself change. When they do, the image on the metaphysical side of the mirror, remember we talked about the other side of the mirror, 3D reality is the reflection, is the manifested reality. The other side is the metaphysical side where you create the image. That other side changes by putting your attention on the desired end. If you put your attention on, for example, things in your appearance that you don't like, that's what you'll create. If your perception, if your state is that I need to change this, the reality mirror says, so be it. You need to change it. And keeps showing you the thing you want to change. Hear this, right? And therefore your reflection, you in 3D in the world, changes to conform to your new image. When you change, the image changes. When you stop focusing on the parts of your appearance or your health that you don't like, and start focusing on being that improvement, right? As opposed to improving yourself, be the improvement, then you'll see it. As soon as you love yourself for who you are and see that greater appearance, that divine appearance of who you really are, then the world changes. Then your appearance changes. Then your health changes. Everything changes. So let's really unpack this. Remember, it's always working out for you. This is the amalgam that we talked about in the last video. Create that amalgam. It really is always working out for you. Why? Because when you believe that, the world conforms. The mirror shows you it working out for you, right? And when you really believe it, it will. The mirror is dispassionate. It will always show you the image that you're feeling, thinking, assuming, and believing, right? It's always the perfect unfolding because whatever is unfolding is. Hear this. When you fight against that reflection just is now. And so you can't change it like a kitty pawing at the mirror, right? It is what it is. But you can change the image of what is in your reality, right? And when you do that, reality changes. Within, you change it within, it changes without, right? It's always unfolding. So know that it's the perfect unfolding, whatever it is. When you do that, it must be. Hear this. When you believe that, the 3D world will show you why it's the perfect unfolding. It will agree with your new state. Hear this. It's your reaction to the problem that creates the problem and doesn't allow the solution in. Anything that you see, if it is that you see that you need improved health, that you want a better appearance, you want a pile of money, you see that as a problem, something that you need to have, something that you don't have, or something that you are not currently. And you can't allow the solution when you react to the problem, when you react to the reflection, when you paw like a kitty at the reflection, right? The dual mirror reflects whatever you perceive your reality to be. It agrees with you. It says, as you wish, right? The mirror always says yes, right? To the wanted, to the unwanted, to the irritation, to the happiness, it always says yes and reflects that back. Right? If you're angry, it will show you anger, right? Allow the unwanted to be, just to be. Allow the unwanted to be, meaning to be as it is, while lighting up your desired future. Stop battling the reflection. So let's hit this a little bit more. Trust in your higher self and infinite intelligence. Otherwise, you'll be relying on your limited 3D self. You end up playing whack-a-mole with realities. Hear this, whack-a-mole, where you hit the one and another one comes up, right? That's what you do. If you don't start trusting in that higher you, that larger reality, that God within you, you're just going to rely on your 3D self, and you're just going to be battling your reflection, right? And you can only change things with physical effort within the 3D reality, but that's not real change, right? That's just playing whack-a-mole. Right? Until another problem comes up. Your lifeline, or hear this, this is big. So your lifeline or layer of the world intersects with an infinite number of other lifelines. Think of this red as your lifeline. And you're in 3D, you're trying to care for that lifeline. But it's impossible. Why? Because it intersects with all these other infinite number of lifelines. And your inner intention of 3D reality can't handle it. It doesn't know it doesn't have the broader perspective of all these other realities. You're at the intersection. This is you. Here, at the intersection of all these realities, trying from a 3D perspective to change your reflection, to change it so you have a comfortable reality, so you have a wanted reality. But how can you possibly know what to do? Or even be able to do it without help from God, without help from infinity? Remember, these are infinite in number. There are so many other realities you're intersecting with that you can't possibly do anything from a 3D perspective. Hear the power in this. I really want you to see the power in this. The 3D you has control over only a very limited, puny part of your life experience, right? You can use your inner attention. You can use 3D action to take care of a puny part. That red line, that's it. And only in the frame, not in future frames of that line. So only in your current frame can you take care of yourself. But really then you're not. Because you're getting frozen in time, you're getting frozen in your unwanted. Do you see this? Only infinity can manage the infinite possibilities that you intersect with in each moment of now. In each moment of now, you're at the intersection of infinite realities, intersecting with your reality. That's how it works. So, problems, chaos, negative conditions are created by a chaotic inner state. The metaphysical side of the mirror. So you create an inner state on the metaphysical side of distrust, of looking at, of thinking negative, of thinking life's out to get you, of thinking there's problems. Then it gets reflected back. Hear this, the mirror reflects that back in 3D reality. You see the reflection, and then you take action to fix the reflection. You're taking action to fix the mess you made in your inner state. Hear this, when you take compensatory action on the physical side to clean up the mess you made on the metaphysical side, that's what happens. That's when things go from bad to worse. That's what that expression means. That's a downward spiral. Hear this. That's why things tend to go from bad to worse before they get better. Because you're taking action on a mess you've created within. The only way to clean up that mess is go back within. Right? Hey, look at the vicious cycle. You create an image, an unwanted image, that reflects in 3D reality. You look at the reflection, you don't like it, and then you even get a worse, you create even a worse image, and then then that gets reflected. You don't like that reflection, and it even creates a worse image. You're in that cycle. That's why they call it a vicious cycle. But you can get off the treadmill. You can get off the cycle, right? You react to the negative reflection created by the negative inner state. Hear this, which creates another more negative image, which creates another more negative image. That's why when you put your attention on your desire and you light up your future, you get off the proverbial treadmill. That's how you get off the proverbial treadmill, by lighting up your future, by focusing on your desired end, by imagining your wish fulfilled. Wow, that's big. So let's hit this a little bit more. It's because your eyes are glued to 3D manifested reality, you're focused on the reflection, that you often get what you don't want. Do you hear this? That's why you don't get what you don't want. You're focused on what you don't want. You're focused on the reflection. See, look at, you're standing in front of the mirror saying, man, I don't like my appearance today, or I need to change this, or I'm too skinny, or too fat, or too short, or too tall, or I don't like the color of my hair, or whatever it is. There you are, or I'm not healthy enough, or I should be a better person. All of that's looking at that and saying, but that's what you're creating as you look at that, right? Your focus, your attention on the things you don't want. And you don't, hear this, your focus, this is big. This is what Vadim Zeland says in his book, Reality Transurfing. I'll leave a link below. Your focus, you focus your attention on the things you don't want, and you don't want the things you put your attention on. This is so big. Let's read this again. You focus your attention on the things you don't want, and you don't want the things you put your attention on. That leaves you in that vicious cycle, right? That's the paradox. You create it as you perceive it and you look at it. That's really what baggage means. When someone says, you carry, I have a lot of baggage, or that person has a lot of baggage, that's the baggage that you're carrying around with you. You're carrying around a baggage of things you don't want. Past experiences that made you unhappy, right? Present circumstances that you're railing against. Right? All of that's baggage, and you're carrying that baggage of these things you don't want. When you say and believe, you'll never change, I'll never change, they don't appreciate me, they're rude to me. The mirror says, as you wish. As you wish. They'll never change, they'll never change. You'll never change, you'll never change. They don't appreciate you, as you wish, they don't appreciate you. The mirror disagrees with you. They're rude to me? Exactly, they're rude to you. You're right. That's what the mirror does. It's not doing it to spite you. The mirror is dispassionate. It gives you whatever the inner state you're creating. Let's hit this a little bit more. So look, here's the reflection. Here's the image. This is the mirror, right? The reflection is a 3D manifested reality. And you say, so you create the image, right? You're looking at your reflection, you create an image and say, I don't like my body. I want, and I need to change it. That's the image you collect. Now, as you're looking in the mirror, right, we showed on the other side, as you look in the mirror, you create that image. I don't like my body. I need to change it. I don't like my health. And then the mirror says, you're right. You don't like your body. You need to change it. And then reflects that back into 3D reality. Do you see that? That's how it does. So what are you imagining is the question. If you're imagining something like, I will never find love, the mirror says you are right. You never will find love. Do you hear this? Right? And this is what Vadim Zeland says, if I do not like myself, I do not like myself. Hear the power in that statement. If I do not like myself, I do not like myself. If you say in the reality mirror, you create an image that I don't like myself, the reflection back to you is, I don't like myself. That's how the mirror works. You're right. If you say it's all my fault, the mirror says, you're right. It's all your fault. You deserve to be punished. Feel guilty. That's what the mirror says, right? That's what creates these bogus illusions of unworthiness. These bogus illusions that we're not good enough, right? It's us within creating that, and then it's reflected back in 3D reality. The world confirms it, and then we even feel worse. We feel more unworthy, right? You are so worthy. You are so deserving. There's nothing to feel guilty about. It's just looking in the mirror. It's just creating the image that you want to create, who you really are. Remember, if you're looking in the mirror, fear focuses your attention on the possible unwanted outcome. So if that's the image you're creating, oh, I don't want that, the mirror says, oh, yes, you do. Right? Because it reflects back that fear, right? Because your attention's on it. You're creating. The mirror is going to give you the unwanted. It's going to reflect that unwanted back to you, right? Doubt's the opposite. Doubt is about the possibility that something might not happen. So you start doubting it. And here you're saying, well, maybe it won't happen. The mirror says, okay, so be it. It will not happen. Do you see it, guys? This is big. The mirror says, as you wish. So let's really unpack this a little bit more. What does it feel like? What does it fit? Why? Oh yeah, not what. Why? This is your question. Why does it feel like things happen to us as if to spite us? Right? One of you asked that as well. That it feels like that the world's working against you, that it's happening to you. That is mirror principle 4. Such a powerful principle. Here's what it says. The mirror cites the content of the relationship but ignores its orientation. It cites the content of your relationship. What does that mean? The content is like, I don't want this. I doubt I will manifest my heart's desire, right? Or I want this, but I doubt I can have it. So that's the content. The mirror then says, okay, you don't want this, but your attention's on what you don't want. So the mirror gives you more of what you don't want. You doubt I will manifest it. The mirror gives you more things to doubt. Do you see this? It's focusing, it cites your content, not the context. What's your context? Well, when you say I don't want this, you're really saying I love this instead. I really want this. I don't like this. I really like this. The only reason you're saying that is because you desire something else. You have something you want, but the mirror doesn't pay attention to that. Hear this. It doesn't pay attention to the context or the orientation of which you're saying, I don't want this. I know when you say, I don't want this, you're saying, I want this instead, right? I don't want this reality. I want the opposite of this reality. But the mirror only pays attention to content. It's dispassionate. It doesn't pay attention to the context of what you're saying, right? You say, I doubt it will manifest. What you really are saying is, I want to, I intend to, I choose my heart's desire, right? But the mirror doesn't pick up on that. Why? Because you're saying, I doubt it, right? So that's big, right? This is a big principle. The mirror cites the content of your relationship, but ignores its orientation, right? You don't get what you want, you get who you're being. You get the image you're creating with your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions, right? The mirror is dispassionate and says, as you wish. Physical 3D reality equals your reflection. So trying to change it, trying to stop it, trying to change that, it is like you're on a wheel, right? It's like you're on the hamster wheel, right? Instead, get off the treadmill, right? And change the image, right? This is a good example. A good example is if you ever got into a skid when you're in your car. Maybe the roads were wet. Maybe there's snow. I come from Boston, and I remember driving in snow. You always turn into the skid or the direction of where you're swerving to. That's how you control the car, right? So turn in, instead of turning, as soon as you turn away, if you're headed for something and you cut the wheel and you turn away, for sure you will skid in to what you wanted to avoid. What do? You turn into it, and now you have control, right? Now you can avoid the obstacle. That's what we're talking about. When you don't want something, for sure you will get it. right? Turn your wheel in the direction of the skid and you will avoid the disasters. But let's unpack this a little bit more. So you're saying, Tom, well, what do I do instead? Okay, I get it, turn into the skid, but what does that really mean? What does all of this mean? It means stop chasing your reflection like a kitty in front of the mirror, right? You can't, you're trying to change the reflection of the vein. It's like standing in front of your own mirror and being unhappy with yourself and saying, oh, I don't want that, and start trying to change the mirror, right? So the fifth mirror principle, so powerful, switch your attention from the reflection to the image. You will never catch up to the reflection, striving and struggling to change something. You're never going to catch up. Just like the kitty, you never catch the reflection. As much as that little kitty wants to catch that reflection, it can't, right? Instead, imagine, intend, create your desired image by lighting up your future frame. Go to the end of your wish fulfilled. Let go of the world, the reflection, and the world will come to meet you. Remember we talked about the prodigal son? When the son goes off and blows the inheritance, I've talked about this before, and then comes back. And then the father, right, that greater consciousness, that greater you, your wish fulfilled, the world, right, the real world, right, the real reality, the ultimate reality, infinite probabilities, or just God. God came out to meet him halfway, right? The world will come to meet you halfway when you go to meet it. When the prodigal son went to return to the father, the father, it says in the prodigal that the father saw him a long way off and went to meet him and hugged him and embraced him. The world will hug you and embrace you when you turn to it by imagining your wish fulfilled. That's how to change 3D reality. That's what it really means. I am your host, Tom Karen, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button, like and share our videos. That's how we get our message out. Hit us up on Facebook at Be Something Wonderful, Instagram and Twitter at Tom Karen, or visit our website at tomkaren.com or besomethingwonderful.com. Guys, don't forget to share our channel, share the videos, tell your friends, family, and strangers about it. Share it on your social media. This is how we grow. You can also contact me at info@besomethingwonderful.com. Until next time, with the greatest love and the greatest light, see you soon.